Welcome to the regular meeting of the Cape Coral Youth Council. Today is September 12th, 2025. This meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Vice Chair, please call the roll.
Thank you, Chair Skorzak. When I call your name, please stay here. Members Bice,
Here.
Feichtler,
Here.
Halsey,
Here.
Jax,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Justin, Mento Perez,
Here.
Paragonda,
Here.
Riley,
Here.
Salazar,
Here.
Sanchez,
Here.
Skorzak,
Here.
Turo, St. Germain, sorry, excuse me. Here. Vargas,
Here.
Zapata Vasquez.
Here.
15 members are present. We anticipate Member Justin's appearance. 16 members are present.
Okay. Now, before we get started, I would like to make everyone aware that Councilwoman Nelson Lastra will be here with us, but she is here via Teams. So you guys cannot see her, but she can hear us, and she is still very much active in our meeting. So we will now move on to item 4, guest speakers. Today, we have the pleasure of having a guest speaker, Mrs. Joanna Hayden, and she is here to share us information about the Mayor's Scholarship and when applications open for seniors. So I will now turn the floor over to her to share more details.
Thanks.
Of course.
I just want to say hi and hope everybody's off to a good school year. Give you some updates on the Mayor Scholarship Fund and the application period and some details about that, just so that everybody feels well informed about it and ready. So we have an early application date. We do it through the Collaboratory, who also represents several other scholarships in the community. So an application with them actually accomplishes application for several scholarships. So you'll want to take a look at that for maybe more than one reason. That application date opens on November 1st and closes January 14th. Like I said, it's a really early application date. We've had people, call us or whatever after that date and ask if we can take an application after that, and the answer is no, because we do it through the Collaboratory. So it's actually, we use their process for application and also initial vetting, and then they pass along to us applications that have already been reviewed by their committee for us to review and select for our awards. So in the past several years, we've been able to award 10 scholarships to a graduating senior. That scholarship is a recurring scholarship of $1,000 per year that goes directly to your college. So because it's also recurring, it's managed through them as well. So there's some criteria that they have as far as once you're awarded, getting in touch with their office and some information along the line, and then reporting back to them every year. So while it's a scholarship that comes from us, it's managed through the Collaboratory, and I think in the past that's been a little confusing at first, and maybe confusing more for us than for you guys, I don't know. But I just wanted to give you like some of the details so that you knew how it worked. Once we get the list from them, typically they will give us 20 to 30 applications to review that have, like I said, been vetted by them. And then we have a committee as well, board members that take a look at all the applications, and we do another scoring rubric and select from there. After that selection is made, we'll notify the students, and every year we also have a scholarship award banquet where you are our guest. It's well attended by city officials and different people in the community, as well as a lot of our sponsors. We've been really fortunate to have a lot of sponsorship, and so this year we're looking at possibly awarding more than 10. It will really depend on how things go with continued fundraising. So I don't know if you guys got this in your packet, if Ms. Grigglin was able to put that, the thing that okay. I'll send it again, but anyways, just a little bit of information about the scholarship fund, eligibility, and the dates again. Actually, the eligibility is pretty much the same for what you're doing, just to be a resident of Cape Coral. And then our volunteer opportunities. So we use youth volunteers for our upcoming Mayor Scholarship Ball, which is going to be October 11th. The past couple years, we've had volunteers from the Youth Council. And so we're looking to do that again this year, 3 or 4 people. You would be manning the table for check-in, and then also assisting with check-out, which includes people paying for their auction items. So the checkout can be a little bit...
Connie, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, thank you.
The checkout can be a little bit hectic, because I don't know if you've ever been to an event like this. It's like everybody wants to take care of that all at the same time. So it's not that hard. We try to keep it as simple as we can and have as many card readers as we can have available. So don't let that be anything that deters you. A couple of the board members will also be out there. We try to make sure that it's not chaotic. That, along with our golf tournament, which happens in the spring, and we have that at Palmetto Pine Golf Club. excuse me. Those are our two main fundraisers, and between the two of those and sponsorships from organizations, businesses, and individuals in the community, we typically are raising between $50,000 and $70,000 a year. So that's why I say, depending on how our fundraising goes, will depend on how many four-year scholarships we can award. We also fund scholarships through our technical schools, our technical college here in Cape Coral and Fort Myers, and also the Southwest Florida Public Service Academy. So it's people who are in those programs. So if any of you are thinking about, that instead of a 4-year, that's something that the Mayor's Scholarship Fund will also offset through funding through those organizations. Does anybody have any questions about anything?
Does anyone? I have one. So you said 3 to 4 volunteers. Is that obviously for the Mayor's Scholarship Ball? Are you also looking later for the golf tournament as well, volunteers, or that just?
Yeah, we can certainly take volunteers for that as well. I don't have a date for that right now.
No
So
worries.
we usually try to set that after the first of the year, and we can certainly be in touch with Ms. Griglin or come back either way, but we will let you know. That's another whole check-in, check-out, and then we have different games during the golf tournament that, we need somebody doing those. So.
Okay.
Just a
Yes.
little bit of history. At least one youth council member, as far as I can remember, has gotten a Mayor's Scholarship over the past 4 or 5 years. And I'm always on the lookout because I usually know who's applied. And if any of you don't get into the top 20, I usually want to know why. Typically, it could be a FAFSA issue or something else, but I know how much you guys put into your academics and into your extracurricular activities. And to me, whoever applies should always be in the top 20. It doesn't sometimes work out that way, but it's an important program. And also in November, a representative from the collaboratory would like to come to talk to you about the process as well, not only for the Mayor's Scholarship, but for the other scholarships that run through their organization. So this will be a continual process now as you seniors look to, applying for colleges and scholarships, and for the juniors, obviously this will be your moment next year.
One of the requirements that is actually a requirement of the collaboratory is the FAFSA. And so if you're thinking, well, I'm probably not eligible for federal aid, that's okay. They still want you to apply for that, and for multiple reasons. It might be something that you're eligible for later once you're in college, and if that is already on file, then your university staff can help you better if you already have that on file. So that's something in years past, if that had not been filed, they wouldn't pass the application along to us. So as a board, we have some decisions to make about any incompletion, so to speak. Keep in mind there is also an additional question when you're filling out that application. There's an additional question particularly for Cape Coral. And if you skip that, there's no way to get you into the funnel, so to speak, that comes to us for our scholarship, because that's a required field. And a lot of times it's a separate document that we get from them. And on the note of the FAFSA, they also, the collaboratory, as well as maybe even your high schools, will have evenings or times during the day that you can get some help or get some information. It can be kind of daunting. There's a lot of information you need from your parents. So, don't get discouraged. Make sure you ask questions and keep an eye out for any kind of assistance that's out there. The last couple years it's been tough because the filing date was late because they were revamping their system. And we all know about, systems that are changing, sometimes have quirks in them. So I don't have the dates for the FAFSA, but that's something, again, you're.
October 1st is when it opens.
Is it? Okay, all right. I couldn't remember when it opened. So if you, as long as you have filed and have something that says it's been submitted, you can upload that with your application to the collaboratory. It's better if you have the report, but they'll take the fact that it's been submitted. So keep that in mind too. When Ms. Maldonado comes from the collaboratory, she'll be able to answer a lot of specific questions about their system, how it works, other scholarships that might be available to you. So just want to say thanks for having me. Good luck to you on your school year, and for wherever life takes you. I've been pretty impressed by a lot of the students that have applied and gotten the scholarship and the updates that we get. I think our future is in really good hands, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we move on to the next item, I just want to make sure we do have interest for the volunteering for the Mayor's Scholarship. Once again, it is October 11th, so if that is something you are willing, like the ball, you want to attend and volunteer, please raise your hand. Okay. It's October 11th. It's a Saturday. I have it in an email somewhere. 4:30 to 10. Okay,
Yeah, it's all in the backup material.
yes. Okay, Merjax, is your hand up?
That's okay, Chair, because they need to email Mrs. Barnes themselves. So all of
Okay.
that information is in the backup material. If you would like to do it, then just pull up your backup material and email her directly.
Okay,
Okay?
does that sound clear to everyone?
Thank you.
Okay. So now we will move on to item 5, changes to the agenda/adoption of agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Vice Chair,
I motion to adopt the agenda.
is there a second? Member Riley?
I move that.
Vice Chair Brown made the motion and Member Riley seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, item 6 is review of meeting notes. Are there any changes to the meeting notes? Do we have a motion to adopt the meeting notes as presented? Member Paragonda?
I move to adopt the meeting notes.
Is there a second? Member Halsey?
I second that.
Member Paragonda made the motion, Member Halsey seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, item 7 is recognition and achievements. Currently, we have no recognitions. Item 8 is advisor presentations, and I will now turn the floor over to Advisor Hayden.
So typically, I use this time to talk about the adventures of our city council. Currently, they're working through the budget and are working through mobility fees, which will be the future of our transportation plan. But I wanted to use my time today to talk about 2 other things. One, it's a historic day for this group up there. Never before in the history of the Youth Council, which was created in 2017, has there been 16 students sitting up there. So I'm very proud of all of you for making this day happen. Attendance is always a priority for me. There's been years when I've scolded this group for poor attendance. And attendance is important because this is the best way for you to have dialogue and for all of you to participate in the many decisions that you have to make, especially with the strategic plan and all your projects. So I hope this continues. You know, we know your time is precious, but for what you did today, it's great to see. The second thing is typically I've tried to use this forum as a way for you to discuss other things that may not be on the agenda, things that you're concerned about or important to you. In the past, we've talked about how you've handled COVID and how you've handled lockdowns, but there was a significant moment this week with the shooting and death of Charlie Kirk. And he seems to resonate specifically with your age group. So I wanted to give any of you the opportunity to share anything that you might want to about this tragedy or how he may have inspired you. You know, maybe he hasn't, but from what I read and the issues that he discussed, he particularly had an influence on you. So I'll leave it up to you if you want to share anything. If you don't, you can continue on with the agenda. I just wanted you to give the opportunity because I don't know a lot about him, so I would like to hear if he did influence you at all.
I would just like to say that, like, this week has, like, been eye-opening, not only just for, like, us, like, our generation, but, like, as a humanity and as, like, a whole. Like, to do something so inhumane to a father, to a brother, to a husband is, regardless of your beliefs and regardless of your political stance, like, it doesn't matter, that's still somebody's life. And the fact that his wife and his children were there to witness that is so heartbreaking to me, because that's what our world has come to. And I genuinely cannot believe it sometimes, because we're supposed to be like our generation is supposed to be at a point where we're supposed to be like advocating for like safety and like making our world a better place. And the fact that that happened at a college campus with young people is so unbelievably heartbreaking to me and so horrible, because like not only did a little girl lose a father, but a spouse lost her husband and like her partner, like, and the fact that that had to be witnessed and was on camera on national news and like in a public setting when somebody was just like advocating for their First Amendment right of freedom of speech is so unbelievably heartbreaking to me. And I just think it's awful. And regardless of how you feel, regardless if you liked him, regardless if you don't, it doesn't matter. Everyone has that right to like have their freedom of speech. And I just think that I just can't believe what our world has come to, and it makes me really devastated personally. So
Appreciate you sharing that. Anyone else?
Member Zapata Vasquez.
It was definitely heartbreaking. I'm sure every one of us have seen or at least heard of the video of when he did get shot and how it was practically instantaneous. So I feel like as sad as it is, we can also use it as a way of just inspiration of what we need to change, what we need to work on. As someone who is working on his like freedom of speech, saying what he felt in a peaceful manner, and his life was just taken away. It shows what we need to change in this world, how we have that power of changing this world, especially starting in the youth council, just starting in one little thing and growing on that, because it's truly devastating seeing how one man was just practically talking, doing something that he has done many times before. In an instant, his life is taken, and now two girls don't have their father, a wife doesn't have a husband anymore, and it's just really heartbreaking to see. I followed him, I enjoyed listening to him and just all the conversations. He inspired me to be able to speak my mind, but also in a peaceful manner, knowing that I don't have to be violent. I can disagree, but I don't need to be harsh towards them. I can just, okay, disagree, but I think this way, you think this way, but we can all get along in the same place. But seeing how in a moment your life can instantly be taken, just, it scares you in a way, because that could be anyone. It doesn't have to be a famous person. It doesn't have to be just like a huge political figure. That was a father. That was someone's son. It just is incredibly shocking to see how in any moment that can just be like taken by someone. So it's just shocking to me, but I hope that we can use this as a lesson to be better in the future.
Thank you. Yeah?
one more thing to add. Also, like, nobody should be scrutinized regardless of religion, color, beliefs, nothing, because of they have a belief. And also, at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have the same heart, the same brain. Like, we all are the same species. Like, why we can't just accept that people have difference of opinion and someone had to be shot and killed over it is unbelievable. And I hope it inspires us, and it inspired me to realize that, like, nobody should be taken away from, nobody's life should be taken just because they have a difference of opinion. And the fact that that happened this week, along with the other devastating things that happened this week, the Colorado shooting, the 9/11 is still a devastating topic. Regardless of, like, it's just been a sad week for humanity, and I really hope we can push past it as a society and learn.
I can hear you now,
and learn
if you can hear me.
Yes, we can. And learn to, like, move past this and, like, how to exercise like peacefulness within society, because I just genuinely think it was heartbreaking, and I just hope that we
Oh,
realize one day-
gotcha. I just can't hear what's out there.
I just genuinely hope we can realize that we're all the same at the end of the day, like autonomy wise, and like we're all the same species, and that we can like peacefully be that. So
Great words. Yes?
Well, I just think the most unfortunate part, honestly, obviously, everything that they commented on, I also agree with, but I think the most disturbing part for me was how much it was posted on social media. I think that that was like having young people witness that who have unlimited access to social media. I just think is so disgusting on all ends, because it's just such a brutal scene to witness. Not only that it's a person being murdered, but also it is somebody whose face can be recognized, somebody who many people recognize. So I think that was the most disturbing part for me, is how it was openly posted on all social media platforms. And the social media accounts they have restrictions on little things, but they also can't restrict a very grotesque image of somebody that many young people all know.
Okay, we're gonna go members while the Vasquez one more time, and then we do have a big agenda, so I'm gonna have to move on after that.
I understand. It's just, it also makes you realize we have freedom of speech, and we live in a country where that is exercised a lot. And it made me realize as well, that is what a lot of other countries do not have. When I saw that, I'm like, that's what a lot of countries don't have. Like, we think of places where communism is common, like Nicaragua, Russia, and all those places, North Korea. That thing that we find so shocking, so cruel, so devastating is quite common over there. That they can't exercise that right, they can't exercise that freedom of speech. And now that we're experiencing it, we realize how much true freedom that we actually are blessed with in this kind of country. And now that it is slowly taking form of something like this, means that we really need to change and make the U.S. better in that way. That's all I had to say.
Okay,
I think I have no words of wisdom here other than to say keep caring, stay passionate. You're all dealing with a lot, but I think I always want to use this as a forum for you to express however you may feel about any topic. And because mental health is a priority of this group, I think it's important that you have that ability to share. Also, one other noteworthy thing today, I want to welcome our city manager, Michael Chisholm, and the assistant to the city manager, Maureen Bice, who may have a closer connection than most to this group, but welcome. And sorry, Chair, back to you.
no, never apologize. I'll just add my 2 cents, I guess. I think just the moral of this week in general is we have to advocate for peace. There's been over 65 school shootings in this country just this year. There's been over 250 just mass shootings in general, and violence will never be the answer. And so as long as we're focusing on humanity first, I think we'll be in good shape. And I'm so happy we have so many, as we said, 16 people here today that care, and I feel really good about our future. So thank you guys for everyone for sharing. But we will have to move on because we do have a busy agenda today. But thank you, Advisor Hayden. I appreciate you giving us that time. So item 9 is citizens' input. This consists of input of citizens on matters concerning city government, 3 minutes per individual. The council will listen to all speakers and respond after all speakers have made their presentations. I will now read the Pledge of Civility. We will be respectful of each other even when we disagree. We will direct all comments to the issue. We will avoid personal attacks. Citizens' input is now open. Any members of the public wishing to speak, please use the podium to your right, facing the dais, and state your name for the record. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' input is now closed. Item 10 is quarterly report. On Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, we as a council gave our first quarterly report, and I believe it was extremely successful. Thank you so much for everyone that came out to the presentation, and I'm very proud of us all. At this time, if anyone that was in attendance would like to share their experience, please feel free to do so now. Okay. I think it was overall a really great presentation. I think we were able to introduce ourselves. We had really great attendance. I was really happy about that. And I know our city council member is really happy to have us there. So, yes. Our next quarterly report will be in December, and so I hope it will be just as successful and we have the same amount or even more people in attendance. And we'll pick that date when it gets closer, but it is in December, for those wondering. Okay, now item 11 is business, and item 11A is strategic plan and initiatives. For our strategic plan, myself and member Paragon have been working hard to update and edit the strategic plan as well as the research for the first and second ring. In your backup material, you will see a copy of the strategic plan that has been edited further to fit the responsibilities of the current council, as well as another document that has the updated research for the first and second ring. Our next step is to work on a way to combine the two in order to create one cohesive document for us to follow. If looking over this document, you think there should be something added or something should be changed, please let me know. So if you go to your backup material, which you guys should all have opened up, like I said, there is 2 documents, and the first one you are seeing is our strategic envisioning plan. I changed it even further than last meeting because I added the fact that we are doing the school reach out program and that member Bice, Jax, and Monto Perez are heading it. And then I know member Paragonda made some edits to her research as well. So now all we have to do is we just have to find a way and find a proper way to format her research in order to put it into the first and second ring. That way we have one document that we can follow. So member Paragon, do you have anything to add?
So first, after Ms. Gregan looked over it, I will make 2 changes, updating the total population and then also adding footnotes so that it makes more sense and the document is more coherent. In terms of embedding the research into the document and combining it, I definitely think what I try to do is like on my research, I don't know if it's, let me see if it's changed. It's changed there. I separated the age groups, so like if you look on the strategic initiatives, it says demographics should be high schoolers and people in the Lee County school system. But on mine, what I did is I put City of Cape Coral, focus on age groups 10 to 14 and then 15 to 19. So that kind of like narrows down what we're focusing on. And then I think we can add, if you look at the bottom of my research, I tried to I did some research and I highlighted a lot of like concerns in our community from the youth, and then also things that I've heard from people like on the council. So I added stuff about like mental health challenges, lack of entertainment, rises in drugs, alcohol abuse, and self-harm. And then I added another section, what can we do to fix this? And what I actually did was try to like add in all of the projects that we're currently working on, such as the movie, Member Johnson's project in terms of mental health surveys and stuff, so that we can kind of like connect what we're doing to address the problems, and that way we can kind of move forward. And I think we can add that. I think it would be beneficial to make another section in the actual strategic initiatives that is like talking about the actual like projects, because I feel like in the other stuff we talk about like, you know, kind of like monitoring stuff in terms of adopt-a-roads and whatnot, but I think we should add a section about like specific projects that the council is doing that year in order to address those specific problems that can be found in like the weaknesses or in the opportunities. We can definitely like be very specific about what we're doing to address that.
Well, did you want to take a look at changing the parameters of the second ring then? Second ring focuses on environmental issues. Do you want to have the discussion about changing that to maybe mental health issues or things that your research may have uncovered?
I think that would be very beneficial. I mean, I feel like we definitely kind of like participate in some environmental things, but it's not our main focus. So I definitely think that part can be reworked so that the first ring we talk about like entertainment and like other things, and then in the second ring we can talk about more like, yeah, like what you said, mental health challenges or like issues that uprise like in schools and stuff, and like those kinds of concerns, because I think we can definitely work on those.
I think I might, and this is for you all to decide. I think I might keep that first ring where it is with the demographic information, because I think that's important to the framework for future youth councils. And then if you want to add a third ring, you can, but I think I would, keep that first ring focus on the age group that you suggested. And I have to get closer to the mic, apparently, council member Jennifer can't hear me. And then maybe look at if you want to change the second ring or even add a third ring.
For sure.
And since everybody is here today, I would probably accomplish that today.
Yes. So I think there's like 2 ways we could probably do this, because if we go under people, we basically have like the projects that we're doing, we just specifically assign it to people. So if we wanted to add it there, the projects we're doing, or even under message external, we have like, we're reaching out through this student government project, but we're also we're doing that now with our mental health project, so we can probably add that in there as well. If we were to create a third ring, which I'm not opposed to, I just don't necessarily know how we would frame it, but we definitely could.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to rework the second ring with mental health issues, that's fine,
Yeah.
and then drop the other stuff into strengths and weaknesses. You have the ability to do that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. If anyone has any input, please feel free.
Yeah.
We are, as Advisor Hayden said, all here, and it should be all, everyone should have it opened up. Because I think if we did do a third ring, that we could do it more on like, not entertainment, but that's kind of what our movie project is all about. I'm not opposed to it. What do you think, Member Paragonda?
Well, I guess it would be like it could go like both ways. It could go either way. We could either like reword the second ring, or it might be it might be beneficial to do a third ring instead, because then you kind of like leave that like freedom and like creativity for them to have like the idea of they can also work on environmental issues, and then we can have like a separate thing.
Yeah, I'd say what we could do is, I think we can add environmental and mental health, like combine that in the second ring. And then if we do add a third ring, that could be more on, like, I don't know how to phrase it. No, I don't want to say entertainment, but just getting more involvement for the youth and doing things that like the youth wants, or even like for when we do trunk or treat, like we're having an event there. It's like, not only are we doing it to raise money, but it's also to get the more youth involved and to have fun. That is something we can focus on. And then I definitely think in people, we should add also a section on what Member Johnson's responsibility are with the mental health project, and then what Member Sanchez's responsibilities are with the movie driving project.
You might be able to do it in a way where you just word it as community impact, which
Yes.
allows you to cover a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
If you get too specific on entertainment,
Yeah.
and that's going to require a change to the strategic plan every year. But you can put examples of community impact in there, and then you'll probably hit on those, each year.
I like that idea. Okay. So we can reword it as that, and then hopefully if no one else sees anything that needs to be changed, myself and Member Paragon will work on it, and so then next meeting we can vote on it, and we can be good. But yeah, so I think we'll rework that third ring for community impact. We'll include the new responsibilities, and then we'll make a motion for all the edits. Is there anything else that anyone think that needs to be added? Advisor Hayden, do you have anything?
So are you in a position then today to vote on the edits? And are you in a position today to vote on what you're going to be adding? And is the second ring staying the same?
Okay.
And will be added to when it's...
So I think, because this document now I edited it for last meeting, and we decided last meeting to just wait until it's fine, till it's fully done to then make a motion to make it this one this year. So I definitely can make a motion to do the additional edits, but we just
You
didn't
wanna
do that
wait?
last time, so that's the only reason.
That's fine.
And then I think we can just make the second ring just community impact overall, and we can include environmental issues, we can include
Okay.
and that way it's easier because it's broad enough that we can include all the ways we want to impact our community, not just environmentally. And then also making sure, because the research that we found for demographics and stuff, like a lot of that is in graphs and stuff. And is that okay if it was in a graph format, or should we try to work it in to make it more like paragraph formed for the first
No,
ring?
It's this group's call. I mean,
Okay.
if you prefer a graphic, go ahead. If you prefer a bar chart of some kind. But, all of you weigh in on this, and so I'd be interested in hearing a little more feedback on the plan, well, at least what's been discussed to this point beyond the chair and Paragonda.
Yeah, because this plan, it's very important because this is our guidelines, these are our goals for the year. So it should be something we're very particular on. So does anyone have a preference? Like, do we think graphics would look better? Or do we think it should be more in paragraph form? Member Salazar?
I think the graphics is fine. Like, I personally am like a visual person, so it helps me like see it better. And especially since there's already like so many paragraphs and words, then I think graphics helps like break it up a bit. That's just my personal preference, but I think I like that. And then I also agree with making the second ring like the community impact, because then we can definitely go a lot more into detail, and then we can structure that into like its own separate sections.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I agree. Yeah, everyone agrees with that? Yeah. Okay, so I'll hold on off for the motion, and then next meeting, we'll make sure to make a motion to have all the edits from the ones I made last meeting to this meeting, all into one cohesive document. If by the time from now to next meeting, or before backup material is due, you think there should be anything else, please email me, let me know, text me, so that we can have those change, and that going to next meeting, we're prepared to make a motion for this document. Okay. Does everyone feel good? Are there any other questions? Okay. Oh, Councilwoman Nelsa Lastra, do you have anything to add? Okay. Should I just move on? Mrs. Strickland, should I move on? Yes. Okay. Okay, so now we will move on to item 11B, Junior Project. At our last meeting, it was recommended to us to reach out to Mr. King from Special Events to help us get started on our movie drive-in project. Member Sanchez had a phone call with him, and in your backup material, you will see a document that specifically highlights the topics that were covered and his responses. Also, at the committee meeting that we held on August 30th, we further went over our project. So now I will turn the floor over to her to explain all of our updates for those that weren't there and any new updates she may have.
Thank you. So for the contact that I did with Mr. King, the phone call, I asked some questions about if we could have the booth at both the city movie nights on October 17th and December 20th. He said there was no problem and that we could have a table there. And I asked him about a donations jar so we could try to get some donations for the League of Cities. And he said that would be perfect, and he might even do a announcement before the movie so people can come visit our table. And I asked him about the movie night that we're planning to host in February, and he said that we can have a $10 entry fee, which will help out with the cost of actually having a movie playing in a public spot, because he warned me that for the movie permissions, it's going to be around $400. But I personally believe that although it might be a hefty cost, if we get like 200, hopefully 150, 200 people to come in, we could get that money back, and we could also get more. So that's my personal belief. And I also asked about food trucks and how that would work out and how we could have those there. He said there would have to be a fire department inspection, and at the committee meeting, council member Lastra confirmed that the fire department is going to be waiving those fees for the inspections, which will help out with the costs, and will just leave us with the movie permissions that will be around $400. And we also talked about the booth that we would have at both the city events, the city movies, and we're thinking about doing a dunk booth. We have to figure out if that is possible. I have to reach out to, okay. Do you want to go now? Okay. And I contacted Mr. King a couple days ago about some more questions that we had during the committee. I still haven't gotten any word back, but once I do, I will update you.
Okay. Thank you. Member Johnson.
So I did get in contact with 2 dunk booth rental, balloon, whatever companies they are, and neither of them got back to me. I tried calling both of them as well during hours, and none of them answered. So I'm guessing the answer is no.
Okay.
So we have to find out a different way to what we want to do.
Vice Chair Brown reached out to me and she had a really good idea, so I will take that over to her.
I think we could do a face painting booth. I know that that's like I don't think the cost would be too high because the materials are typically at a lower price, and I think it would be a fun way to engage with everyone in attendance, and like more of a chance to one-on-one speak with anyone who comes up to us, because they're gonna have to talk to us. So if that's something anyone's interested in, I think that would be a fun way to engage with everyone there.
Yeah, I think I really like the idea because, I mean, we don't have to advertise that we're like expert face painters or anything like that, but like simple designs I'm sure we could do. And that way we can get really interactive with everyone. Just a reminder, I mean, everyone should have watched the videos, but what we're talking about right now is on October 17th, that's the day, correct? The city is hosting a movie in the park, and we're having a booth there to promote our own city as well as just further collecting donations for a National League of Cities. And our original idea was to do a dunk booth, but obviously as Member Johnson let out, told us it probably isn't gonna work out. So I think face painting would be a really, really good idea to do. So, and we'll probably need around 4 members at October meeting, I'll confirm, I'll ask who can be there and stuff. But yes, so the email that you sent Mr. King, he's still not responded. Okay. You sent this last Friday, correct? Or Wednesday? Okay. If you could follow up on him on Monday, or if you could, do you not think it's good to call him again? Because I know you called him the first time.
I called him the first time, but the problem with that was that the connection was a little off, and so it was lots of cutting off. I can try to do it again. Hopefully the connection will be better, but I'm going to have to email him just in case when he would be available.
Okay. Is there any way we could see him in person? Like if myself, okay, where is his office? Is it here or, sorry.
Yeah, so he's in Parks and Rec, which is obviously on the 2nd floor. So I'm sure if you reach out to him and you set up a meeting and you have all of your questions, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to meet with you as long as it meets with his schedule, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think, Member Sanchez, that way, I think in person is so much easier, especially I'm sure he's a very busy man. So if I would more than likely, I will 100% be there. So if you could ask him if there is a day during the week that would work best for him, then I think that way we can make sure we're getting the ball rolling. I mean, I know we have approval already for October 17th, which is our closest date, but the movie in the park that we're hosting is a big event, so I want to make sure we're getting that process started. Okay, so you will email him Monday or whatever. Okay, is there any questions about any of pertaining to the movie in the park that I can answer, Member Sanchez can answer? Councilwoman Nelson Lastra, do you have anything further to add?
She did text me just so you know that she is having a hard time hearing us. So I don't know if it's our connection, if it's her connection. She obviously can't hear us right now. She does have stuff about the meet and greet, so we'll try to reach out then for her.
Okay, during the committee meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if there's no further discussion, we'll move on. So item 11C is senior project. At the last meeting, Member Johnson shared to us our ideas for questions we can ask for our mental health survey project, and it was our responsibility to reach out to her and vote for our favorite ones. In your backup material, you will see a document that is composed of all the questions with the most votes. I will now turn the floor over to Member Johnson to explain the questions we are going with, as well as explain the steps that she has taken so far to get this project started.
Okay, so if you want to follow along with me while I read these, you can. So the final questions that were voted on, so for the yes and no questions, which for each yes and no question, there'll be an optional explanation question. So if they want to explain why they said that, they can. First question is, do you have a 504 IEP plan? If they answer yes, then there's going to be a question that says, if so, are your accommodations easily accessible at school? If no, they just can skip that question. Next question is, do you feel your school provides enough support for students' mental health? Have you ever avoided getting help because you were afraid of what others might think? And then have you ever missed school because of stress, anxiety, or depression? Going into the scale questions, these are going to be a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being strongly disagree, 5 being strongly agree. First one is, teachers and staff take students' mental health seriously. I feel comfortable going to a staff member or counselor at my school. I believe my school should do more to raise awareness about mental health. And then the last 4 questions are the open-ended questions. These will be a written response question that students can write however much or however little they would like in it. And those are, what causes you the most stress at school? What is your biggest challenge when dealing with your mental health during the school year? How has school impacted your mental health, either positively or negatively? And then what do you wish more people understood about mental health? These will be the questions on the survey that are going to be sent out to schools. Besides all the questions, at the top there's going to be probably like our logo as the heading, and then I'll give like a little description on how to answer it, that it'll be completely anonymous, and that if they don't feel like, or they don't want to answer a certain question, they don't have to. It's completely optional. Obviously, we'll encourage it, but I don't want people to answer if they're not comfortable with it. And then an update, so the schools participating, I emailed, so Miss Collins is the superintendent for the Oak Charter Schools, and I emailed her. She got back to me super quick. She's super excited about this. She says it's a great idea, and she's excited for us to present. She gave me the permission to email Principal Corey. Principal Corey has not answered. I haven't had the chance to talk to her in person because I'm not at school much with my schedule because I'm mostly online school. So if I can, I'll try to have a meeting to get with her. She usually was quick to answer me, but maybe she just doesn't like the idea, so she hasn't answered. But I'm going to email Miss Collins again on Monday and ask her if she could inform Miss Corey about it. I feel like it'd be better coming from her than me going to her. I still will, though, if I need to. And then I've gotten 0 response from the superintendent of the Lake County schools. So I'm going to email again, and then I'm also going to work on maybe emailing the chair of the Lee County School Board, or find a way to get in contact with her. So until I get responses from those principals and the Lee County School Board superintendent, I'm not going to go forward with anything else, because for some odd reason they say no, I'm not going to make all the presentations not to send out. And then obviously we'd have to go through from there to see what we want to do instead.
Yes, Member Halsey.
Sorry. I'm happy to go to my principal, Mrs. Covert, about this, because she's at literally every varsity cheer game and like football game and like every game, and also like I see her all the time. So I'm happy to like present this idea to her, and if she wants to move it up to her superiors or whatever, I can ask her about it and I can let you know.
So the only thing is I don't want to go to principals till the superintendent approves, because like if for some reason Lee County the Lee County superintendent was like, I don't want that happening in my schools, I don't want the principals to be like, we're doing, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I understand.
Because if I can get the support from the superintendent, then it's easier to get the support from the principals, but I don't want to do it the opposite way, just following the chain of command.
No, yeah.
But once we do, I really appreciate if you could talk to her just to
course.
maybe get her on board. Thank you.
So, I had lunch with the school board chair a couple days ago.
Mr. Hayden.
I know. He's very excited about this. After this meeting, I'm going to give you his phone number. Okay. And also, instead of starting with the superintendent, who's probably the last person you want to start with communications department. There's a gentleman there by the name of Rob Spiker, Spicher, I think. Reach out to them, because they're going to be your best avenue to start this ball rolling within the district. Sam Fisher talks to Denise Carlin all the time, so I'm pretty sure that she's also excited about this because we talked about not only sharing the results with the Lee County School Board, but also doing some sort of town hall.
Oh, so she knows about it.
Huh?
Okay.
I don't know that she knows about it. I know the school board chair knows about it.
Okay, perfect. So I'll work
Just
on.
yeah, I'll give you that number.
Okay,
Reach out to Spiker.
Thank you.
That'll help you, I think.
So I'll be able, if I can get an answer from them the next couple weeks, I'll be able to start making these surveys. So the next meeting, we can make sure it all works and looks good before we send it out.
Absolutely.
Whenever the date is. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Member Johnson. You've made some really good strides with this project, so I'm very, very happy, and I really like the questions we chose. I think they're very centered on our goal, and I also think I like the fact that they're also optional, because some questions people might be open to saying, some people obviously may not. So I'm very, very happy with that. And then we're doing an additional information section, right? Or no?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't put that in.
No, you're fine.
The last question is going to be if like any further comments or anything else they want to say that maybe wasn't on the thing, or if maybe they want to add another topic that maybe say that they have great mental health, like they can do that too. So just so it gives us more to work with.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any further questions? Okay, thank you so much, Member Johnson. So we will now move on to item 11D, school reach out project. I'm so sorry. Okay, at the last meeting, we decided to keep the school reach out project for the 2025-2026 term, for the hope that we can visit the last two schools of Cape Coral and Mariner. I've reached out to past member Wittich, and he has since provided me with the materials we used last year to put on a successful presentation. Members Monso, Perez, Jackson, and Bice have decided to help lead this project and have worked to edit the presentation to make sure it fits with our current projects. You can find this presentation in your backup material, and so at this time, please review it and let me know if there's anything that needs to be changed. Please, everyone, if you could look at this now, because I would love to make a motion on this so that if we do get this presentation approved, then at this meeting, then the members working on it can start reaching out and they can send them presentation using. Member Feichtler?
I just have a question about which schools we're going to be presenting to this year. Is it just the two that we couldn't do last year, or are we also doing the same ones this year?
No, we're just doing the two that we didn't do last year, and then we thought it was easiest because I know a lot of people are worried about how time consuming this project is because we are doing a lot of projects this year. So our goal as of right now is just 2 schools. If we finish these 2 schools really early, then we can see, and we have time and there's room on the agenda, then definitely we can go see, and maybe we'll see from that point.
Okay.
But as of right now, it's just Mariner and Cape is who we're trying to reach out. Member Johnson, that hand up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm just looking in here. There is on the side where it says our ongoing projects. It's something little, but I feel like we should change those pictures to they're for pictures we've already taken from like our adopted roads, and then take out the raffle basket ones because we aren't doing that anymore.
Yeah, you're so right. I didn't even.
I think it's like something super
No,
tiny, but
it's 100% important though. Yeah. The people that are working on this project, are you guys making sure you're writing this down? I'll write it down as well. But yeah, we'll fix that picture. We'll add the adopt road, and then we can also definitely do pictures of the school reach out program. We have many from last year, so obviously we'll add that in there. And then if you need those pictures, you can contact Mrs. Strickland, or they're on our Instagram as well. So, okay, so we'll make those adjustments. Is there anything else anyone, oh, sorry, Member Salazar.
This is just me being like a little picky-ish, but I was looking and one of the slides is voting in elections, and it talks about the city manager, I think. I saw it somewhere. But I think for voting in elections, we should have like the city attorney's office and city manager's office like come right after, and then the Google Form survey, since they go together. I'm sorry, English isn't working right now. Does that make sense? Like, I think those should be more cohesive, and then we have the Google Form survey, because it's kind of weird going from voting in elections to Google Form survey and then back to city attorney's office and city manager's office.
I agree with you.
Or we could put it, because we have, oh, that's where it was. We have another side that says about our city government. So I think we should do about our city government, have that side, then have the city attorney, city managers, then the voting and elections to explain how that works, and then the Google form survey. This isn't anything like super big deal.
No,
I just
I
think
agree
it
with
makes
you.
more
We
sense
want to make our
to do in that
presentation
order.
most
Yeah.
as cohesive as possible. I think in the past we did it like that because if we had someone from the city attorney's office or the city manager's office, they would speak at the end. So, but I think it makes sense, and I agree with you. Okay, so far for edits I have to update the pictures for the adopter road and update the pictures for the school reach out program, and then change the order so that the voting and election slide is right before group discussion. Am I correct? Okay. Is there anything else that we, oh yes, Member Feichler, I'm sorry.
Just one more thing. I was looking at the Stay Connected page, and I don't know if you want to include it on there, but we could also add just the city website, because we have the email and the social media. But if they just wanted to look up their own information, like we can just add capecoral.gov. We don't have to though.
Yes. And then something we also have to do, which is not, we have to update the QR code because it was not working, but we'll just attach it to our Google form. The Google form, I looked over as well as they did, and pretty much there's nothing. It's just the same questions as last year. So I think those are all good. Okay. And then at the bottom of, if you scroll all the way down, I also added a to-do list. So we need to finalize this presentation, and then we need to contact Cape Coral High School and Mariner to find dates that work for them. And then once they give us a few dates, please bring them back to council so that we can vote on what dates works best. We don't want to pick dates without having the council opinion. And then also personal preference, I think, but also better for the council. The presentations, I think we should do them on different months. So if we're doing October, November, we can't do October, that's just a little soon, but I would say if we're doing one in October, then we're doing the next one in November or December, just not in the same month so that it's not too chaotic, especially since we already do have a lot of stuff going on. And then once we have dates finalized, we'll email the Councilwoman Nelson Lastra, Advisor Tom Hayden, so you can come to presentation. Okay, so then does anyone else see any final edits so that I think we can, I'm going to make a motion for this presentation, including the 3 dates that I have on here, 3 edits I have on here. Everything seems good? Okay. Oh, and then this one says Mariner High School, but whatever school it is, we'll say Cape Coral High School or Mariner. So, I mean, oh wait, yeah, excuse me. Okay, so do I have a motion to adopt this presentation along with the edits of including pictures, updated pictures of the Adopter Road project and school reach out project, updating the order and adding the city website to our Stay Connected page? Member Salazar?
A motion to adopt with all the changes.
Is there a second? Member Paragonda?
I second.
Member Salazar made the motion and Member Paragonda seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so Member Monte Perez, do you have any other updates for us?
Okay, so so I got in touch with my SGA counselor. She's willing to work around our schedule, and I remember you guys said there was 2 dates that worked better for you guys last year, but I didn't quite remember what days it was. So I was wondering, what days of the week?
So last year they were on Tuesdays. I don't know if that was a preference based on our old council advisor, like Member Steinke, or like Advisor Hayden, is there a specific day of the week that works best for you, or? Yeah. I have I'm in volleyball season right now, but the games are normally later, and the presentations normally go, I would say, from like, depending on when they start, normally they start at 1:45 or 2 or something like that, so they'll take around an hour, I would say, as like a basis, so. Is there any day of the week that absolutely like would never work? Yes, Member Johnson.
Shouldn't do Wednesday. We can't do Wednesdays.
Okay. Also, this is another, yeah, you're right as well. This is a thing that if not everyone can go, obviously it's right after school and some of us aren't driving yet, and that's totally fine. These presentations, I normally like to have around like 5-6 people, so that's just also to keep in mind. Member Jax. Okay, so when we reach in contact, let's try not to do Wednesdays. Well, we can't really do Wednesdays. And then we'll see also what works best for them. And so then you reached out to Cape Coral High, right?
Yes. She just said that today was elections. I reached out last month. She said we couldn't do September, because this month was freshman elections, so they're recently freshly new. So she told us to do it a little later. So then I planned with Member Jax, that I was gonna do Mariner High School first, and then do Cape Coral High School further on.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to add. My counselor, my SGA counselor also mentioned that she's doing presentations in her class for any after-school activities or like things to get involved. So she's a teacher for every freshman in the school in like the IB program. So she's having like after-school programs and clubs come into her class and then have presentations. So once I told her this, she was like, maybe you guys could, like, me and Member Vargas both go to Cape Coral High School. Maybe we could both go into class and do it in class too. And that's what I was thinking.
When, like, so during the school day, you're saying to give, and then we would also go to their student government, you're saying, like, so it would be 2 presentations at Cape.
Yes, it's like the same presentation, but just during the school day, so we get more attendance and more people looking at the presentation and stuff.
I'm not opposed to that. Does anyone have any comments on that?
It's only a couple. She does school-related absences, I believe, but it's only gonna be like she gives us like a slip for it, but it's only supposed to be around 5 to 10 minutes of presentation.
Yeah, so we could definitely, I mean, the reason the presentation will normally take so long is because we do have guest speakers, and there's a lot of, like, when we say discussion, like, we go and read really in-depth discussion. So if we, obviously, during the school day, we probably won't have any guest speakers. So if you went through the presentation, and I think it'd probably be like 5-10 minutes, and then obviously still give them the chance to use the Google form so that they can still give their input on their own time. But, I mean, obviously the goal of this project is to get the most involvement as possible. So, that being said, when is it again? That day? The one that's happening in school, like the.
So I can pick any day from, I believe, September. I'm not sure if the form's up for October, but I did check yesterday, it was up for September.
Okay. So, I mean, if that's something you guys are doing in school, it doesn't necessarily have to work with our schedule. The only thing is we need to make sure that we have these edits done. I mean, we can do September if we have the edits done, but I think October would also be perfectly fine. Is there anything like stopping us from allowing them to do the presentation during their school, or?
I mean, not at all. I mean, when you talk about that particular presentation, are you asking for staff too, or are you just asking for you as members?
I think it would just be, because it's during their school day, so it'd be Member Monteprez and Member Vargas going and giving the presentation, but like a more condensed version.
No, absolutely not. I mean, to make it formal, since we have absolutely everyone here, I would just say that would anybody be opposed if we allow those 2 members to go on behalf of the entire youth council, because they would be representing all of you guys. And as long as it's voted on and it's okay, then no, there's absolutely no issues. I just wanted to make sure that there was distinction, that staff wouldn't obviously be attending both of them. Okay, I mean, obviously, when we invite staff will be well in advance and they would know the dates. So absolutely, then I would definitely make sure that it's voted on and then everybody agrees that they can represent the youth council on behalf of whatever you guys discuss.
Okay. Member Sanchez, yes.
I was just gonna add one thing that I was thinking of. If it's gonna be like 5 to 10 minutes, I think a good idea as well would be to like kind of like promote like the actual after school talk that we're gonna have with the presentation, so that more people can come, even if they're not part of like the student government or like whatever club we do end up going to.
Yes, I agree completely. Okay, so then I will make a motion for that. So, do I have a motion for Member Monteprez and Member Vargas to give a more condensed version of our presentation during a school club's meeting during their school on behalf of the whole youth council? Member Paragonda.
I move to allow Member Manso-Perez and Member Vargas to give the presentation.
Is there a second? Member Jax?
Second this motion.
Member Paragonda made the motion, Member Jax seconded it. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm really glad that we have that additional opportunity to reach more people, because that's the whole point of this presentation, to reach as many people as possible. Okay, so that being said, we approve the presentation. You're gonna get in contact with Mariner to pick out a date. Hopefully, I would say more towards the end of October, so that we give staff the chance to make sure it works with their schedule. Once they give you dates, bring them to our next meeting. We'll vote on them, and then we'll let staff know, okay? But do not finalize anything before we vote on it. Same thing with Cape Coral, okay? Is there any questions? Okay, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the work. Okay, we will now move on to item 11E, Lovelock's discussion and updates. At the last meeting, we were informed that the contact we had found for Lovelock project would no longer work out because of miscommunication. I'll now turn the floor over to administrative contact Ms. Grigland to explain more updates.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, I have actually wonderful news that I know you guys will all be super excited to know. I had the opportunity to meet with the last gentleman that was reached out to, believe it or not, back in 2021 by Robbie Reamer, which, unless you guys were, you probably wouldn't even know him, because, I mean, I think
it was in 8th grade.
Yeah, he's been out at least 3-4 years. But anyway, the point that I'm making was this gentleman that I reached out to still had all of our information in a nice little folder. So when I reached out to him originally and I explained to him, you know, what we were asking for, he had no hesitation to meet up with me. So he literally came to my office and we sat down for like 20-25 minutes. And he literally brought me the folder and showed me the stuff that he had.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, the point that I'm making is we have somebody, his name is Ryan Coburn. I want to make sure I publicly announce him. He owns, it's called Tip Top Welding. It is in the Cape, and he has agreed to volunteer his time, labor, and materials to us.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The good news is obviously not only is he a welder, but on his side jobs, he does projects like this. So like this is his passion, this is his love for what he does with his materials and hands per se. So we talked a little bit and I explained to him that on our side of the fence and the gate is obviously there's some legal, you know, materials that we have to be able to provide and put together. So I'm currently working on that with him to reassure me that that's what he wants to do and that he's willing to do that. He had also mentioned to me that he was going to need a concrete slab, and as I was mentioning that to him, he said to me, he says, well, he goes, I honestly think I will have somebody else that would be able to provide that if you give me the opportunity to reach out. I said, absolutely. So he's hoping to get back to me in the next week or two after he talks to this gentleman. And if we do that, then basically we can finalize everything to the point where it still has to go in front of city council, because a resolution will have to be created saying that, you know, this company, you know, is gonna provide us with this and this and this. The only thing that he's asking of us, which we already have the funds for, is the power coding, and obviously some kind of memorial plaque for if it's him and the gentleman offering the slab, which I said would be absolutely no problem whatsoever. So I do wanna let you know that we are headed in the right direction. I will continue to work with him on my end of the side, because now I just need to get it back through legal and back in a city council meeting. But I do want to let you know, he also said to me that once everything is finalized and city council approves it, the project itself, he's hoping to have it done within 3 to 4 months. So I'm hoping and I'm hoping by the time our seniors leave, fingers crossed, that we will be able to have a ribbon cutting and unveil everything.
Yes. That's amazing, because Cultural Park still has it approved, or?
Correct. Cultural Park, we have the spot located, it's just city council, once again.
Is that
has
something
to-
we have to do, or we have to go and present
No.
to the, okay.
Everything else now we'll take care of on our end, and once city council approves everything, then we'll bring it back to our agenda item, you know, but by that time, we'll already been approved. So
Okay.
it'll just be a matter of letting you guys know where we are.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for that update. I'm so happy. This project has been in the works for so long.
Well, and further update on that, I think I'd had a discussion with the city manager a year or so ago, and I think he had told me at the time that they would be willing, the city would be willing to put the pad in. So I will check with him again on that. And Councilmember Laster, I don't know if you can hear me, but no, this is not the discussion on the fundraiser. We will let you know when that happens. So hopefully, or if you want to text her on that. So.
I heard you. Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted you and Connie to have the notes.
All right, you will be up in a few minutes.
Okay, cool. Just yell loudly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does she need me to speak louder too?
Probably.
Okay.
If you can speak louder into.
I'll move the mic closer.
Unfortunately,
I
I
have
can't
a-
make it any louder, but your voices can make it louder. It's, you know, it's just the connection.
Yeah, I have a little bit of sore throat. That's why I sound the way I do today. I'm sorry. Okay, so that is great news. So I think we can move on. Okay. So now we will move on to item 11F, FLC Youth Council Summit. So in November, we as a youth council are planning a trip to DLAN for the FLC Youth Council Summit. In the last meeting, administrative contact Ms. Gerglin provided us a timeline for the trip as well as a minor consent form for us to fill out before we go on the trip. As a reminder, this form must be filled out and sent to Ms. Gerglin in order to confirm your spot on the trip. All of this information is in your back material for this meeting too, if you need a reference. If you have any questions now about the conference, please feel free to ask myself or Ms. Gerglin. So yeah, I now open the floor of discussion if there are any questions. It is November 8th. We will be driving up November 7th after our youth council meeting, and that form does need to be submitted. So is there any questions? Okay. Yes.
Okay, so Chair, you said it everything exactly, which was all part of the backup material. The key thing is I need to know by Wednesday, September the 24th. That is the absolute deadline. And why do I need to know it that soon? I need to secure how many vehicles I need, who's coming up with me, and obviously then I need to start securing the hotels. I don't know, I've never been to that area. I'm sure it's a pretty large area, but you know, we don't want to take the chance that there's no hotels available and we're hightailing it to the next town over. Member Salazar.
What was the due date you said you needed to know?
Wednesday, September the 24th.
Okay, and then where is it? It's not the Tallahassee trip we did last time.
No, so this trip is in a town called Dullen, I believe that's how you Delane?
Never
Okay,
heard of
apologize. It's about 4 hours from here, so that is why we are leaving the night before, because if you look at the agenda, it starts promptly at 9 a.m. So we need to make sure that we get there the night before.
Are we heading back that same day?
We would head back as soon as the program ends at 4. So once again, expect traffic, dinner, hopefully be back here by 9:30, 10. Kind of a late trip like we do when we come back from Tallahassee days.
Hopefully we can find dinner this time.
Exactly. Okay?
Yes, and
So-
also as a reminder, we don't pay for anything.
Correct.
So-
There is absolutely no out-of-pocket expenses to you guys. So, once again, there's a lot of great information in your backup material. If you are interested and it's something you want to do, I've given you all of the tools, okay? There's also the form that I've emailed, so it's a fillable PDF. All you have to do is open it, save it, send it back to me. If you're not versed in that, or your parents want you to print it out, you are more than welcome to print it out and hand it to me as well. Member Fikefeld.
When would we leave from City Hall?
So we have the meeting on November the 7th. As soon as the meeting is done, we will pack up our bags and head off.
It's like 10 minutes after, because just moving. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep, so we'll be we're hoping to be there that night, once again, 9:30. Once again, we'd have to stop somewhere for dinner, so plan on that, but we're hoping to be by the hotel by 10 o'clock. Okay?
And then, as far as hotels goes, once we know who's coming, we shared rooms last year. If Member Justin went, obviously he would get his own room.
Yes.
But just keep that in mind also.
Yes, it's 2 members of the
Per
same
room.
sex in a room.
But we still hang out. Like it's a fun time. But
It's the whole program itself. Obviously, this is their first annual, so I'm sure it's going to be very similar to when we went to the FLC annual conference. But considering that it's just youth council, you know, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of other members, you know, from other youth council. So it is an opportunity, once again, for you guys to network, meet other groups, see how they operate. You tell them how you operate. And then obviously in the whole experience itself, you know, there's a full agenda, you know, where they bring guest speakers and, you know, they kind of tell you what it's all about. Okay?
yes. Okay, so everyone remember, the 24th is when we need that by, and that's not just, an email to Ms. Grigland saying you're going, that's the form included. And speaking of forms, just a reminder, Ms. Grigland did send us 2 other forms to fill out. That's for our page, to have your face, like your picture there, explaining what you want to do in your future career, and then also for Adopt Roads, there's a hold harmless form that the city legally requires. So if you have not submitted that, please make that at the top of your to-do list. Okay, is there any final questions? Okay, we will now move on to item 11G, committee meeting debrief. So on Saturday, August 30th, we as a council hosted another committee meeting to work further on our projects and establish timelines for all of them. In your backup material, you'll see the notes from this meeting. And as we were discussing the material, I'd recommend taking notes as well, as there's a lot to go over, especially going into our meet and greet. To get us started off, I will explain the updates for the meet and greet as well as the procedures for the event. If there's any questions about the meet and greet or further comments someone like to add, please let me know. And then obviously, Councilwoman Nessa Lastra, if you have anything to say while I'm saying or after, please feel free to interject.
Do you want to, she's got a nice update to give you all on fundraising efforts.
Okay.
Council member, do you hear me?
I can hear you.
You want to go ahead and give your update right now?
Sure. So I've been pretty busy, y'all, the last few weeks. And it's hard to hear y'all, so I apologize if you've called on me before. Y'all are going in and out from the dais. I can hear Tom very well. In any case, I wanted y'all to know that right now in our GoFundMe account, we have $504. We have $1,800 committed from the Cape Coral Chamber. We have $900 from the radio guy. So that's $3,200 that we have either in or committed. As I mentioned to y'all before, on the 26th is when I go on this radio show at Hooked, and I'm gonna highlight the youth council, and that'll be when we get our check from him. So I want as many of y'all there as possible so you can get on his radio show and talk about what we do. I also have a lot of asks out. I have a $1,700 ask out to Elmer Tabor. The Cape Coral Police Union, I spoke to them at the 9/11 memorial event yesterday and asked them to sponsor 2 kids for $3,400. I've also reached out to IUPAT, which is our labor union, for $1,700. Kiwanis, $1,700. So that's $8,500 that I have out in asks. And I'm about 90% sure we'll get them. So if that's the case, then we are doing well, because then we would be at $11,700. So then we would need about $6,000 more dollars, and that's what we're going to use next Thursday for. I didn't hear anything on Nevermind. Have y'all talked about that yet? I mean, Nice Guys, have y'all talked about that yet?
We're about to, I was gonna go over the notes from the committee meeting and the.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I'll let you do that then, and then I will plan to see whoever comes to help set up there at 4 o'clock next Thursday. And then did we get the slideshow done?
Yes, we have the,
Yay!
we have the slideshow done. It is a video presentation, so I have it on my phone, and then I will send it to Ms. Griglin, so we'll have it for the day. But it's just not in the backup material because it's a video.
Okay, good. Did y'all talk about trunk or treat yet?
No, we will do that after we discuss the meet and greet. But we
Okay,
did
well, I'll go ahead
decide for,
What?
we couldn't do the dunk tank, I don't know if you heard earlier, for the Moving the Park on October 17th, but we're thinking of doing maybe a face painting booth, simple designs, that way it's a lot cheaper and easier for us to do.
Okay, well, I got toilet paper donated for trunk or treat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I have cases of that coming from Sam's. I'll pick them up in my husband's truck and make sure I get them to City Hall. So I have that done. And then I'm trying to think, there was something else that I did that I got done. Oh, did you all talk about the movie, the Halloween movie, or the upcoming movie coming up for February?
We already talked about the movie, and we're planning on having a in-person meeting with Mr. King to like confirm the February, but for October, I'm pretty sure we're all good. We're just thinking now, once again, to do face painting.
I had a moment of panic at 2 a.m. last week, and I mentioned to Connie we needed to add calling the food trucks to get the food trucks there. And then did Miss Griglin tell y'all that we are good on the fire inspection, the cost of that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll stop talking. Carry on.
Thank you. So yes, so meet and greet. These are the procedures. After I'll go over, I'd also like just a head count again to see who's coming. This is a huge event, one of the probably biggest events we're gonna host all year. So I'm hoping, as much as we promoted it, that almost everyone's gonna be in attendance. So as a reminder, so all members, we will be wearing our youth council shirts. This is where it is a meet and greet. They're meeting youth council shirts. They should wear the shirts that have our names, our logo, everything. Every attending member must help with setup and cleanup. So although the event starts at 5:30, we should all be there at 4. It is our responsibility as a council. It is very important. So specifically, Member Bice and Vargas, they're going to serve as greeters to guide people to the event. And so basically how it works, so Nice Guys they're gonna have like an open section where that's where they're still like having the regular business, but we're gonna be in the event room. So Member Bice and Member Vargas, if people are coming specifically for us, we'll guide them through there. Another important thing to know is when we are there, we are not, if people are there just to have dinner by themselves, we're not going over there telling them to come to us. That's not our job. If they happen to stroll in, that's a different story. Hopefully that does happen. But we're not going out, we already have done the promoting on our side. We're not going to harass their customers. And then 5:30 to 6, members will be networking, speaking with guests, and making connections. This is obviously super important. The closer you get with people, the more likely they're gonna donate, and that's our goal at the end of the day. At 6, Liaison Lastra will take the stage to introduce the Youth Council, and then she'll make a little speech, and then we have a presenting order. So everyone sent in their speeches, so we're all good on that part. So Myself will introduce the youth council, including Advisor Hayden and Advisor Griglin. Vice Chair Brown will introduce Hope for the Holidays and their mission. Member Johnson will introduce the Mental Health Project. Member Sanchez will introduce the drive-in. Member Salazar will introduce Trunk or Treat, and then I will do closing as long as additional asks for donations. We already submitted that. And then update, Member Johnson has acquired 2 banners, one for the inside of the restaurant, one for the outside of the restaurant. It's just like a big canvas banner, so that's amazing. We also did receive, we already ordered the decorations and everything, so we're gonna have 2 photo backdrops. It's a balloon arch, everything, and yes. And then we're also gonna have acrylic holders that will have our GoFundMe link and everything like that. So the event ends at 7:30, but obviously we're gonna be cleaning up. So anticipate. There shouldn't be that much cleanup, but I'm anticipating to be there latest until 8 o'clock. So just so I know, this is on Thursday, as everyone knows. Who is planning on attending? Please raise your hand. Okay, everyone here. Oh my goodness. Let's hope not surprised, but that's gorgeous. That's amazing. Okay, so I should be expecting everyone there. Yeah, that's perfect. So, okay, so does everyone know the protocol? Do we understand what we're going in for? Oh, as well as bottoms. Thank you, Member Johnson. Bottoms, nice dress pants, no jeans, no ripped jeans. We're supposed to look very professional. Closed-toed shoes, all of that fun stuff. Everyone understands? Okay, perfect. So I think Councilwoman Nelson Lasher, if there's anything else about the meet and greet that I should add or I forgot? We're good, okay. So also at the committee meeting, we discussed trunk or treat, but we'll leave that for the second, we'll have a trunk or treat section. And then we also discussed Hope for the Holidays, so I'll now leave that to Vice Chair to explain.
Okay, so Hope for the Holidays is going to open October 17th at our October drive-in. We're going to host a donation bin at our booth at the drive-in. And then it's going to close in our December drive-in, so the Christmas drive-in is going to be the last day for Hope for the Holidays. All the donations we receive are going to go directly to Children's Network for their Operation Santa program. It's their annual program where they receive donations from a bunch of different organizations, and they give it to whatever kids are in their care at the time. So that'll be probably, they're going to help us with transferring goods, and I'm still in contact with them. We're in their email group, so that's confirmed. And then we're advertising donations for children ages 5 to 12. Liaison Alastra worked on getting, I believe she's working on getting a sponsor for teenagers for hygiene products and any materials that older kids may need that might not be as easy to purchase for like the general public to advertise. And then Advisor Griglin, we have donation boxes.
Correct, we already have the donation boxes.
Okay, perfect. And then we will be wrapping the boxes to set up in City Hall and the Youth Center. I was in contact with Ms. Rams, and she gave us permission. We were allowed to use the Youth Center as a location for our donation drive. And then I believe, yes, Children's Network has offered their assistance in transporting any of the collected items to the Fort Myers office, and we will be using the city's communications to promote the toy drive at the October drive-in, as well as our meet and greet.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions about Hope for the Holidays? Okay. Oh, yes, Member Sanchez.
I don't know if I missed it, but do you have a date yet for when we're going to be wrapping the boxes?
I believe a committee meeting date.
Yeah, we were going to do during one of our committee meetings, which we have to decide on for the next date of.
Yeah, because honestly, it's only 2 boxes.
Yeah, it will take like 10 minutes max. We should decide on a committee meeting date, but I'll get back to a second. And then another thing we discussed were flyers. So we needed a bunch of different flyers for a bunch of different things. So in your back material, if you could please look now, scroll to the bottom under committee meeting. We have a bunch of different flyers we made. Well, not I made. And Brielle made them, and I love them so much. So I'll just go briefly explain what they're all for. If you see anything that needs to be changed, let us know. So the first one you should be seeing is the flyer we're going to have at the October drive-in. So it basically just says what we're raising money for. Wait, right? Is that correct? Or no, is this the one for the, hold on. There's a couple. Okay. Yes, sorry, I was right. So this is the one we're going to be putting out for our movie in the park. So on October 17th, this is the one that will be at the table, so if people stop by, they'll know what we're asking for. Then the next one is the one we're gonna have for Trunk or Treat, basically again, accepting donations, QR code to donate. And then the next one is just explaining the rules for the game. Obviously we'll explain too, but having something there, concrete, people will know, and if we forget anything, double check. And then the last one is one we're gonna also have at the table for the meet and greet. So at the meet and greet, we'll have a big QR code as well to donate, but this will also be on the table, so if someone does have to stumble in, they'll see what we're all about. So, oh, and then if you go in the very, very bottom, we have one for the toy drive, Hope for the Holidays specifically. This one posts online, as well as we'll have it at the movie in the park in December. So I know that was a lot to look at, but does anyone have anything? Member Feichthaler?
Are these just gonna be online, or are we printing these out and putting them in places?
It's kind of a both thing, but they were made so that we would have them at our table, so that if people do stumble by, they can read it and things like that.
So this is separate from school, right? We don't put these in schools?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's always, we could, but it will also be posted on our social media pages when the dates gets closer. So, anyone else? Okay. So, I believe that covers it for the committee meeting. Anyone that was there, if I missed anything or if there's anything I needed to add? Oh, the date for the next committee meeting. We should decide on that. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we normally do them on Saturdays. If you guys could pull out your calendar, I would say probably October 4th. We normally do them earlier the month. With that, if you guys could check your schedules now. Again, these are normally at 9 a.m. They are at 9 a.m. to around 10:30, 11 in the conference room downstairs. They are optional, but the more people, the better. It gives us a way to more directly keep working on our projects. So if the 4th does, okay, raise your hand if the 4th works with you. Okay. Are you still checking, or does it not work for you? It doesn't work for you? Ms. Scriglin, does the 4th work with you?
4th works for me. I'm emailing from the last receipt.
Okay. Because I don't want to, because the 11th is the following, and that's when we have, that's the mayor's scholarship ball, but I mean, that would be in the morning and then later in the day, so. But, and then the 27th is also a possibility, if that works more for you guys.
Does it have to be in person? Can you do a Zoom meeting if you can get better attendance that way?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, I just don't know
I'm not opposed to it either, it's just difficult.
the
It's
internet.
really difficult to do a type of meeting like that when you're trying to get input and
Okay.
we have an instance here where the sound is just not working.
Yeah.
And I would prefer in person if not
Okay.
possible.
Okay, so,
I guess for now, let's just shoot for October the 4th and hopefully we get enough. I mean, once again, we don't need everybody, but if we can get at least some key players and we take notes.
yeah.
And if there's something you want to input, then you just need to let us know ahead of time. But, I mean, as long as they have, at least
Yeah, it should be enough. And hopefully member Johnson, we don't know, or Monza Press.
So she texted me back, she said, as long as it's at 10 a.m., that's fine. She has a 5K run at 7 a.m. 10 a.m. is
Okay, so 10 a.m., October 4th. So I'll make a motion for that. If you cannot be in attendance, it is okay. You can give her input online. Okay. So do I have a motion to set the next committee meeting for October the 4th at 10 a.m.? Member Sanchez.
I motion to have the next committee meeting on October 4th.
Is there a second? Member Vargas.
I second that.
Member Sanchez made the, is there any discussion? Oh, wait. Member Sanchez made the motion, Member Vargas seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, October the 4th. So I will now move on to item 11H, trunk or treat. So on October 24th at City Hall, we will be hosting a booth at the city's annual trunk or treat. The event will run from 5 to 9, but we must be there at 4:15 to help set up members, and then must stay up to help clean up. Along with giving out candy at our booth, we will also be having a separate table that will be hosting a Wrap the Mummy competition, where the kids will go head to head to see who can wrap the fastest mummy to receive a prize. We decided also that instead of large candy bars, we'll be instead having a toy box for kids to pick their prizes. We will also be accepting donations for a GoFundMe at this event. So is there any discussion for the plan of this event? Once again, it's from 5 to 9. We will have to be there 4:15, and then it will likely run, it will probably be done around 9:30. And then we will probably need a decent amount of people there just so we can have both people handing out candy but also help running the game. But now, obviously, we need to pick a theme. So if you go into your back material, there was 3 proposals for a theme. And Member Salazar is not here today. Well, she was here, but she left. So I'll explain her idea as well, and then I submit a theme, Vice Chair submit a theme, and so we'll do a quick vote on that because I know we're getting closer and closer to our time. So, okay, so I will start with my Inside Out theme. So if you go to your back material, it's the first one. So my idea was that everyone dresses up as a different emotion. There are 10 emotions, but if more people are there, then we can do things like Bing Bong or Riley. And basically my idea is, if you see the picture, we would create like a board essentially that would have, and we would get plastic balls and we would make them look like the emotion board in the movie. And then we would also have like a big, I don't know, like a console, I think is what they call it. Basically symbolizing like that we're the characters, and that's how they would control Riley's mind. So things that we would buy were plastic ball pit balls, a board that we can make out of cardboard, and then I would just say like plastic caps or water bottles if you see like that's what they mainly made the switches out of. And then also some people had like colorful balloons also, that would be fun. And then I was also thinking we could have different colored buckets, and then each bucket represent a different emotion. So if people are feeling happy, they can get one out of the yellow bucket. If people are feeling angry, they can get out of the red bucket. These are just like little things, but that was like overall my idea. Anyone have any questions on it? Okay. And so then member Sanchez.
I just have like a possible like idea as well to add on to yours. For the balls, we could also do like kind of like openable ones per se, and have like candy in there, so it's like interactive, and you can also do like the emotion thing where like, oh, they can pick up a blue ball if they're sad and like open it and have candy in it.
Yeah, that definitely works. And I don't think that should cost too much, but I love that. Okay. And then to make all this stuff, we'll just meet up we'll find a date that works for us and do it downstairs in the conference room to work on it. And then we also have, if you go to the bottom, so member Salazar, which I love her idea, so I'm not biased in any way. She had the idea of doing like a music theme or like a rock and roll theme. So we would make our trunk look like a concert, as you see in the back of material, and then we would all dress up as a different artist or like someone that relates to that style of music. So like, for example, if I wanted to be Taylor Swift to represent pop, like that would be an example. Then we could get light up glow sticks to make it brighter, candy baskets could be decorated as sheet music, and we can also make and buy decorations depending on what we're doing. And then to go along with this, since we are doing a prize bucket instead of candy for like the mummy prize, we could get like all rock and roll themed prizes, was her idea. And then music genres like rap, R&B, pop, rock, metal, reggaeton, jazz. So does anyone have any questions on her idea? Okay. And then our last idea came from Miss Vice Chair Brown, and I will let her explain.
Okay, so I was thinking we could do a circus-themed trunk or treat, and then we could each dress up as like circus performers or any animals like lions or tigers. Basically, what I was looking at inspiration and different ways that people did this, and most decorations are made out of like cardboard and paper and markers, so I figured that wouldn't be too expensive. And a lot of them have colorful balloons. And I was thinking we could give the candy out in like those plastic popcorn buckets or even just paper popcorn bags. And then of course there's other decorations in here like the blow up clown. I don't know how much that would cost, but I don't think it would be too expensive if we wanted to go more out. And I feel like the circus you can make creepy if you wanted to, but it could also still be fun and cute. And so if anyone's interested in that, we could discuss it at a committee meeting as well.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, so we will now move into the vote. You guys all know the options. So I'm going to say whatever theme it is, and then raise your hand if you'd like to vote for it. And also remember, you can only vote once. If you would like to vote for the Inside Out theme, please raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 7 votes. If you would like to vote for Member Salazar's music theme, please raise your hand. That's 5 votes. And then if you would like to do Vice Chair Brown's circus idea, please raise your hand. Okay. It's okay. And so with the vote being 7-5-0, the theme that received the votes was the Inside Out theme, so that will be our theme for our trunk or treat. So do I have a motion to adopt the Inside Out theme as our theme for the 2025 trunk or treat? Member Halsey.
I motion to adopt our trunk or treat theme.
Is there a second? Member Jacks? Member Halsey made the motion and Member Jacks second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'm really excited, guys. Someone recommended it last year and I really like the idea too. So moving forward, since it was my idea, I'll work on like set project ideas and set supplies, and then at the October meeting, we can decide a date to meet up here and build the board or anything like that. Is that okay with you?
So, right, Chair, just because of constraint of time, right. Now that you voted on the theme, you guys have a group text. I would suggest you decide on whoever's going to decide.
The characters.
Right. Whatever you guys need to decide as a group. And all I want is the final decisions for the backup material for October's meeting.
Yes.
Okay, very simple.
Yes.
Any questions? Perfect.
Okay. Now we will move on to item 11I, Veterans Day Parade. Each year, the Youth Council typically goes to the Veterans Day Parade and represents the city. However, this year, the Veterans Day Parade takes place on November 8th, which is the same day that we are already planning to go to the FLC Youth Council. But this is still an amazing event that I recommend everyone to attend next year. And we thought, me and Ms. Kirkland thought you guys should still know as to why we're not going this year. So, is there any discussions or questions on that? Members of Alta Vasquez?
I personally thought it was like on the 15th because we received in a magazine. It was, I think, Cape Coral on the Move, if I remember. It was like a magazine saying all the events and all that stuff. And it personally said on the 15th, so I got like kind of confused. So I don't know if I'll be able to go to like the youth summit because it does land on the same day, and I'm going to have to march as I'm part of the JRTC, so I'm still trying to coordinate if I'll be able to like wave and not go to that, so it's still like.
No, obviously, and that event is really important for our city and for our country, so if you have to be there, the FLC Council is obviously optional. It's a way for us to grow, but if you already have pre things committed, that's okay. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, I definitely recommend going next year though. Okay, item 11J is Beach Talk Radio Show. So this is something that Councilmember Lastra mentioned earlier, but on September 26th at 4:45 to around 5:15, Mr. Ed Ryan from Beach Talk Radio will be presenting Councilwoman Nelson Lastra a check for all the money he's been able to raise for our Washington, D.C. trip. So, to show our gratitude, it would be great if we have some of our members come and be there too. We would wear our youth council shirt and dress pants, which means no jeans. Also, to thank him for his efforts, it would be great if we could make a large card and all sign it to give it to him. Yes, so this would just be essentially us there, helping receive the check and obviously give him the card. It's a great way also to meet more people. Our donation isn't stopping after the meet and greet. It's still very much continuing. So the more we network, the more we get out there, the more people will be able to connect. So if I could just have a quick raise of hands of who's interested in going, I most likely will be there. It's September 26th at 4:15. And it'll go around to like 4:45, sorry. It's a Friday. No worries, no worries. Okay, so we'll have at least 4 or 5 people. I should be able to attend. I may have practice, but I may figure that out. But, so as long as we have interest, I'm glad. Okay. And then we'll send out a group text the week before to just confirm with that. Is there any questions? Oh, and then Ms. Grigland, for the card, how are we?
So once again, I guess you take care of the group text. Let me know who wants to volunteer, and I'll make sure I purchase it, and either you guys can stop and pick it up, or I'll drop it off or something.
Okay.
So I'll allow you to just figure out who wants to pick it up or how someone's gonna get it, and then you guys can decide, how to decorate it.
Okay.
I kind of showed you an idea. At least then we can get everybody's signatures. Even if you can't come, we'd obviously love everyone's signatures. So since we're obviously at the meeting and there won't be another one before that, maybe you guys can figure out how to maneuver
Yeah, we all go to the same schools. I can drop it off. We'll figure it out. It would just be great if we could have everyone's signatures. So
Exactly.
please make sure you're reading all the text, reading all the emails to stay as informed as you can. So, any other questions? Okay, our next item is item 11K, Adopt a Road Ribbon Cutting Ceremony. As you all know, one of our projects that we work on throughout the year, I apologize, is Adopt a Road. This project is one that we do in collaboration with Keep Lee County Beautiful, and this fall they want to celebrate all the groups who have adopted a road with a ribbon cutting ceremony. This event would be a great way to gain more public recognition and to get more in touch with our community. In your backup material, you will see a document that Keep Lee County Beautiful presented to us with potential dates for this event, so please review it now so we can vote on the date if that is something we want to do. I will now open the floor to discussion to see if that is something we're first of all interested in doing, and then we can obviously go from there on the date. I personally think it's a great idea. Member Pilar, yes.
It sounds interesting, and I'd like to be a part of it. However, I'm looking at the date, and it's the same day as our meet and greet.
If you scroll down, that's one of our options.
Okay. Well, obviously that one wouldn't work then.
Yeah. I thought October 11th would be the best because it is a Saturday.
Yeah, a Saturday would probably be the best.
And
for
it's in the morning. Well, yeah, it's pretty much in the morning, or it could be in the evening, depending on if that's something we would do. That day is the same day as the Mayor's Scholarship Ball, but that is later in the, like as we said later. So if we did it in the morning, I think that would be great. But that's just my personal opinion, because during the week it's really hard for me. Member Sanchez?
I know North Fort Myers and also Cape Coral both having homecoming that day, so it's going to be a little complicated for some of us in the council.
Okay. But I mean, if we do it like 9, well, you guys have appointments, I'm not trying to say. But it's nothing, we don't need everyone there. Obviously, the more the possible, the better, because they're honoring us and the work we've been doing. So, but besides the people that attend those schools because of homecoming, would October the 11th work with most of us? If it does, can you please raise your hand? Oh, so maybe not. I mean, is there a date that works better? It just...
Is it possible that maybe somebody could reach out to them and see if there's dates available for early next year?
I definitely can.
No, she gave
No.
all the dates that they're, I mean, it was all in your backup material, the dates that she gave is that's only dates that they're doing.
They're doing it, okay.
Yeah. I just mean, the other ones are during either early in the morning when we all have school. I mean, we could do them later. It just, I know a lot of us, like specifically have sports and such. Member Feichthaler.
Other than the 11th, the only day that works for me personally would be the 30th of September from 6 to 6:30. Again, it's not just about when I can go, but that's just personally what I have.
I appreciate it.
A couple late night evenings.
Yeah. Let me. What? Yeah, it is during volleyball season, so let me just check real quick if I do have a game that day. I mean, I don't have to be there, but I feel I should be there. So, the 30th? I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying. We do. Oh, we don't. We have the 29th and the 1st. We do not have the 30th. Okay. This. Yeah, October 6th is volleyball senior night, so cannot. Yeah. But the September 30th would work for us. Well, does September 30th at like 6 to 6:30 work with us more? Yeah. Okay. Does that?
For that date, because there's only one slot available, so I'm hoping it's not taken.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try for Tuesday, September the 30th, from 6 to 6:30.
Yes. Okay. I'll make a motion really quick. Okay. Do I have a motion to make our adopted road ribbon cutting ceremony on September 30th at 6 p.m.? Member Halsey.
I motion that.
Is there a second? Member Feichthaler?
I second that.
Member Halsey made the motion. Member Feichthaler seconded it. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, September 30th. Okay. Item 12, next meeting agenda topics. When it comes to the agenda of the next meeting, I recommend we keep, hold on, this has changed, A through H, as well as, I think that's it, actually. I think everything else wouldn't be, okay. So, is there any discussion on that, A through H? Oh, Member Jax. Yeah, it's number F. Okay, yeah. So, do I have a motion to adopt items A through H with the removal of items I, J, and K for the meeting held on October, I do not have the date here, I think 12th, 2025. Wait, let me confirm that date, sorry. It's the 10th? Okay, sorry. Do I have a motion to adopt items A through H with the removal of I, J, and K for our meeting held on October 10th, 2025? Vice Chair Brown.
I motion to adopt the meeting topics.
Is there a second? Member Riley? Vice Chair Brown made the motion. Member Riley seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 13 is reports. We currently have no reports at this time. Item 14 is reports of the council liaisons and advisors. Is there any reports we have? Okay. Item 15 is time and place of future meeting. The next regular meeting of the Cape Coral Youth Council is scheduled for Friday, October 10th, 2025 at 3 p.m. in council chambers. Is there a motion to adjourn? Member Feichthaler. Is there a second? Oh, sorry, I'm kidding. Member Feichthaler.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Member Zapata Vasquez.
I second that.
Member Feichthaler made the motion and Member Zapata Vasquez second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is now adjourned.